Call the meeting to order. As you please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have approval of minutes, October 6th, 2021, special meeting, October 12th, regular meeting, October 14th, special meeting, October 25th, special meeting, and budget work session. Is there a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Button? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Public comment agenda items. Anyone wish to speak on any item on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. First, I have a resolution, the Festival of Hanukkah of the Menorah. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Cornwall has received a request from Rabbi Shabransky of Chabad of Eastern Orange County to place a 6 to 8 foot menorah on the Town Hall Park grounds for the Festival of Hanukkah. Whereas the Town Board has considered the request from Rabbi Shabransky, now therefore be resolved as follows. The Town Board hereby grants the request of Rabbi Shabransky of the Chabad of Eastern Orange County to place a 6 to 8 foot menorah on the Town Hall Park grounds, specific location to be approved by the Town Supervisor, Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds for a period of time between November 27, 2021 and January 3rd, 2022, subject to the following. 1, a statement of the date the display will be erected and the day it will be removed. And 2, an executed hold harmless agreement waiver. And 3, proof that Chabad of Eastern Orange County has liability insurance covering its activities and erected the proposed display and naming the Town of Cornwall as an additional insured. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
First.
Move second, discussion. Roll call.
Ms. Button?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion carried. I have a letter from the Cornwall Lions Club requesting permission for the Lions Club to conduct their wreath and roping sales on Town Hall property. They'll be selling wreaths and roping for a total of 4 weekends, starting on the weekend of November 20th, 21st, and ending on December 11th, 12th. As you know, the Cornwall Lions Club is very active in our community in keeping with our motto, we serve. We also donate a substantial amount of money to charities and organizations. Of course, in order to give away money, we first must make it. The selling of the wreaths and roping at Christmas time is only one of several fundraisers that we conduct annually. By changing our venue for selling wreaths and roping from Main Street, Town Hall parking lot, we've been much more successful with our sales. Signed by Phil Cameron. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Button? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next is the re-levy of the water for the village and for Clifford's Water District. Due to state regulations, Steve, I'll let you just give a brief overview of what the requirements are and where we're at.
Sure. Under the state requirements enacted by legislature last year, in order to re-levy, the town is required to send a notice of rights in regard to bills for water service. The moratorium on re-levying goes from 180 days after it's a date in June, so it's going to expire like November 24th. And the right to get a deferred payment plan on delinquent water bills will continue until the end of the year. The county is requiring all municipalities to send out a notice now before, I believe December 8th is the date, Dick?
Yes.
For December 8th, and to send a certification to the county that it has done so. The county legislature is then going to consider whether or not it will re-levy. It may not agree to re-levy this year. That's going to be up to the county legislature. So they're going to be holding a vote on that later, and they want all the certifications that notices have gone out. And by then, town is mailing out, has mailed out the notices. I'm going to be sending the certification, and hopefully the county will agree to re-levy again this year, and that way Cornwall and Hudson's delinquent water bills can get paid. If not, they'll be carried over to next year. The village can still pursue collection on them, but there won't be a re-levy this year unless the county agrees to it.
Right, so we'll take action on the re-levy at our...
That's right. The resolution has to be in before December 8th, so we'll take action either at the special meeting or at the workshop to get that resolution into
Okay.
for the re-levy into the county.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, next is a resolution, Main Street parking study. The board held an information meeting, public input on parking on Main Street, and we decided that we would put together a request for proposals to go out to the traffic engineers to take a look at Main Street, which is outlined in the request. Read the resolution, whereas the Town of Cornwall, Orange County, New York wishes to solicit proposals from traffic engineers for preparation of a parking study for Main Street in the Town of Cornwall, whereas the Town Board has before the draft RFP for the said Main Street parking study agreement, copy of which is attached here too. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. One, that the town authorizes soliciting proposals from traffic engineers, and the proposals should be received no later than, I guess we could actually make it for the regular.
Well, you want to give them enough time to actually prepare the RFP, so I would think 30 days would be a minimum on this.
So we'll make it, I think, December 6th is our regular meeting, or what's the workshop?
It looks like the 6th.
So you think
The 6th.
that's 4 weeks?
I'd suggest that you have it for the regular meeting rather than
Okay.
the workshop,
Yeah,
just to
the
give
13th.
extra time.
Okay, December 13th. 7 o'clock. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next, we have a request, letter from the Village of Cornwall on Hudson, a request for real property tax exemption / village-owned water supply property. Enclosed, please find a certified copy of a resolution unanimously adopted by the Village Board of Trustees on October 18, 2021. Village of Cornwall on Hudson is requesting a tax exemption from real property taxes on village-owned supply property for the year 2023. If you need further assistance, please let me know. Jeannie Mahoney, Village Clerk. This is an annual request we do get from the village. I'll read the resolution. Whereas heretofore the Town Board of the Town of Cornwall has received a request from the Village Board of the Village of Cornwall on Hudson to grant tax exemption from town taxes to certain properties owned by the Village of Cornwall on Hudson in the Town of Cornwall outside of the incorporated Village of Cornwall on Hudson. Whereas the Town Board has considered the request from the Village Board, now therefore be resolved as follows. The Town Board does hereby adopt this resolution denying the request of the Village Board of the Village of Cornwall on Hudson to exempt certain properties in the Town of Cornwall outside of the Village of Cornwall on Hudson, which said properties are used by the Village of Cornwall on Hudson for water supply purposes. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, the motion is carried. Next, memo from the Superintendent of Building and Grounds. I'd like to place the gray 2008 Ford F-250 into surplus. We've just received a new vehicle that we're replacing in our department. Is there a motion to declare the vehicle surplus?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, the motion is carried. Next item, real term street lighting proposal. The board has been looking at this for the past couple of years. We started out looking at NIPA, and then finally Virginia had gotten in touch with the real term. They've been involved with a couple of other municipalities, and their proposal was night and day from the NIPA proposal, which for the purchase of the streetlights from Central Hudson and the conversion of the remainder to LEDs. NIPA's last proposal was a little over $500,000, and real term proposal is just over $300,000, $311,000. And there'll be considerable savings. The payback time is give or take 4 years. But after that, there'll be considerable savings for the two lighting districts. I think the one thing the board has to be cognizant of is at some point, these LED lights will have to be replaced. They're saying 20 years, maybe 15 years, maybe 10 years, but at some point, nearly the 500 streetlights will have to be replaced. But in the interim, for a number of years, we should have considerable savings. And I believe, Steve, to start this proposal, what real term does for $20,000, which is part of that cost, assuming that we go with them on the project, they conduct a town-wide survey of the lights to determine the most suitable lighting for every spot throughout the town. So that's something that they would embark on. There's separate agreements, Steve, with that? I know you've been talking to them.
Sure, I have. We've received a draft contract from them. The maintenance is going to be a completely separate contract. Will be entered separately, and it may even be entered after the light replacement has taken place. The first contract takes you through the replacement of light heads. Real Term will do the inventory of streetlights. They will do an assessment of your needs as far as what you need to replace, what you can just buy from Central Hudson and keep, any bulbs that you need to switch out and the like. An overall assessment of your lighting plan to make sure there's adequate lighting. You may want brighter lights in some places and less bright in others. They'll assist in the bidding process, and they will actually oversee, or at least assist in overseeing the work that the contractors do to replace the street light heads. And then they'll give a report at the end of it. They'll also assist in looking for grants and financing. They've sent, like I said, a draft contract. I now have their schedule of fees. I have a number of questions about the drafting of the contract, the way that it's put together, and I'm in contact with Real Term trying to work that out. I would think that you will be able to have a final draft of the contract for the December meeting. I know there's a special meeting coming up, but there's too many issues, I think, to have it ready for that. But certainly for December, I think the town will be in a position to approve it if it wishes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this appears to be certainly a good proposal for the town. Actually, Central Hudson's already replaced a little over half of the lights with LED lights. So the town will be purchasing those lights as well as the non-LED lights, and that's what this conversion will also include. So we'll then follow up, so hopefully get the contract in place and then have it for next month's meeting. Next is a motion to approve a stipend of $1,500 for Highway Superintendent Tom Gishwin, who provided supervision for the Buildings and Grounds Department over the summer, as well as operated the playing pool and the swimming pool. So is there a motion to approve this stipend of $1,500?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt? Abstain. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. The assessor reviewed a new, it's a map subscription service where she would be able to utilize it for assessing properties. It's a much improved system. The county put on a program for it, and I think most municipalities are probably going to participate in it. It's basically a 3-year program, $2,500 per year. And while it's primarily for the assessor's office, but there may be other uses that the mapping will have, whether it be for our highway department or police department or any other department, building department, any department would be able to access the service. So I have a resolution, whereas Nearmap US, Nearmap has provided the town with an agreement for aerial imagery and location data and associated products and services, whereas the town is prepared to accept the attached proposal from Nearmap, therefore be resolved as follows. 1, that the town board hereby agrees to enter into said agreement with Nearmap, a copy of which is annexed here too. And 2, the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate the terms therein. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Under personnel, a couple of items, retirement, sanitation driver. I'd like to inform you that I'll be retiring from my position as sanitation driver effective Friday, November 10th, 2021. Submitted my paperwork to the retirement system. Sincerely, John Ferris. Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt? Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Next is memo from Chief Hazard. Sean Allen has resigned from his position as part-time police officer effective 10/31/2021. Is there a motion to accept the resignation?
So moved.
Second.
Move second, discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. And I have a resignation letter from Arlene Ruggiero. Arlene writes, I'm sending this email to notify the board of my resignation from the Town of Cornwall Zoning Board due to residency requirements Thank you for allowing me to be part of this wonderful community. Is there a motion to accept the resignation?
So moved.
Second.
Second discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion is carried. Committee reports, Councilwoman Bunt.
So the sewer, Bird Cliff was, above the permitted limit. It was .174, the allowed is .12. And Cornwall Shore Road was operating okay. It was 1.02, the allowed is 1.5. And the Recreation Department and some other individuals, Laura Dela Cruz, Mark, the Marassis, Norm, and we put together the Halloween thing out on the front lawn, and it was an amazing success. So I want to thank everybody that helped us with that, and looking forward to doing it next year.
Thank you. Councilman Wojciechowski?
So in terms of EDAC, we are going to be moving to working on tourism and a film marketing brochure. We're going to be looking to try to attract some more filming into Cornwall and to try to help the businesses out with that. Our regularly scheduled meeting, which would have been on the 24th of the month, is going to be moved to the 17th because it would have been the day before Thanksgiving and nobody was available to meet, so that's going to be next week. That's all I have.
Okay. Councilwoman Scott?
Well, as far as the Cornwall Conservation Advisory Council, that meeting is tomorrow night, so I will not be able to attend because I have a scheduling conflict with COVAC. So I'll read the COVAC report. For the month of October, they were summoned to 108 emergencies, answered 87% of the primary calls. They were unavailable to respond to 14 emergencies. And as I'm looking at, revenue again, I'm looking at year-to-date, they have $135 left in their account, and that concerns me. And I think that's it. The Moona Creek, they met on the 28th, but there was not a quorum, so I do not have minutes to share with the board. Thank you.
Okay. I do want to mention,
Yeah.
while the revenue may be extremely low,
Yes.
the contract that we negotiated has gone back and forth. The attorney has spoken with their attorney. They did send a signed copy of the contract 2 weeks ago to the town. Unfortunately, information was missing from it, and the attorney is in the process of speaking to their attorney.
They changed the terms in it.
They changed the term.
Yes. I just got a red line, but he said it's not a complete red line, so I have to compare what it is he sent me with what it is they submitted, which is, I think, missing page 8. So we'll have to figure out where that goes. But with any luck, we'll get it together. Maybe we can approve it at the special meeting, and then we can get some funds going.
Correct. Okay. Councilman McGinnis?
For the month of October, the Highway Department repaired Continental Road from the Hurricane Ida damages, cleaned off rock debris from all lawns, repaired drainage swales, cut out and blacktop section of road from 119 to 123 Continental, and cut out and blacktop driveway and private road aprons. Blacktop patch Ross Lane, Russell Street, Town Hall parking lot, Smith Road, Poplar Street, Old West Point Road, Clarkwood Drive, and Station Road. Street sweeping leaves from sides of road town-wide. Street sweep all roads that were tarred and chipped to remove rock. Vacuum leaves from ditch line with leaf vac, Boulevard, Mine Hill Road, Maple Road, and Hasbrook. Put together plow truck for winter. I won't mention all the trucks that needed it. Assisted sanitation with double pickups and call-outs, assisted Orange County with the repaving of Main Street, rehab Laurel Crest baseball infield for baseball and cricket use, Cleaned out drainage pipes with pressure jet on Oak Street and Hasbrook Avenue. Removed trees on newly acquired Triangle property to install a retaining wall for the new pocket park. That's upper end of Main Street. Mechanics serviced, I won't mention all the trucks, but almost all of them. And the building department, there were 34 permits issued, 36 certificates of compliance, 8 COs issued, 100 on-site inspections were performed, 4 complaints were investigated, 3 notices of violation were issued, 5 signs were removed. They took in permit fees of $7,247 and $5,100 for municipal searches, 17 of them. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, the police report, calls for service 652, miles driven 12,956, total miles for 2021 as of October 31st, 78,710. Traffic and appearance tickets 15, parking tickets issued 2, motor vehicle accidents reported 39, arrests made 2, 911 hang-up, misdial, open line 3, alarms, residential and business 27, ambulance requests 12, animal complaints 5, burglary 0, criminal mischief 2, disabled vehicles 8, domestic incidents 4, parking complaints 3, suspicious vehicle or persons 9, house checks 12, vandalism 0, assisted other agencies 18. Okay, we have warrant number 11. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, the motion is carried. Public comment, anyone wish to speak on any issue? Yes.
Carla Castillo, Chair of the CAC. I'm presenting to the supervisor and the town board a finished copy of the Cornwall NRI that was recently printed.
Thank you, Carla.
I'll be sending an email out later about that to finalize the remainder of the copies where they will be distributed. And then on the streetlights, it gives me great pleasure to hear that the town is moving forward with conversion. This is something that I presented to the town back in, I think, 2018, starting with NIPA, and I'm very, very pleased to hear about the $200,000 difference between the two pricings. I do recommend, however, that the town consider a no change order contract because this is quite a big difference, and just to ensure or have ensure that there are no additional costs that will be snuck into the contract and that cost savings whittled down. The other thing in terms of the assessment on the lights, and I have shared this with Councilwoman Scott during our CAC meetings, strong recommendation for dark sky compliance. In my professional work, I have spoken with Steve Harriman, I've spoken with Real Term. They understand that many of the communities in the Mid-Hudson are very interested in dark sky compliance, not overlighting our communities, so I'm hoping that that is something that is also stressed. And in terms of the maintenance, I was wondering if you'd be able to share what their cost per light on the maintenance is?
They haven't given those to us yet.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no one, there's a motion to go into a closed session to seek the advice of council.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Bunt?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Randazzo?
Yes, motion's carried. Thank you.
Will you be taking action?
No.
Okay. Thank you.